Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I posted a couple of videos and now I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, so I wanted to kind of sit down and talk about some of my recent purchases. In early May, I went to the makeup show in New York City with one of my clubs at my college campus, and we were able to get into a pro event, so there were only pro makeup artists there, but because I was a part of a school and a club, we were able to get tickets into the show, and that was kind of where you would be able to pick up purchases that are good for traveling makeup artists. You could use on clients, and it's more so geared towards that, but things are discounted and brands really try to get themselves out there. And there were a couple of people doing body painting and stuff like that. Avi from Skin Wars, and it was really cool. I don't have that many pictures because it was kind of a hectic day and I kind of just ran in there, knew what I wanted to get, and I kind of left. I went and did that, and I bought a couple of things that were inexpensive, and then I went to, websites online and in the drugstore, and I got a couple of other things as well to kind of solidify my collection. As I said in my last video, my Get Ready With Me, I said that I was on a no-buy. I'm just trying to save up a little bit of money and try to reduce the amount of stuff that I have in my collection. I'm only refilling things that are really important. So I'm going to kind of mix things up, and I'll let you know where I got certain things, just to make sure that everything is more organized. I'm going to start off with the brushes that I purchased, and I went to the makeup show knowing that I needed face brushes, and Crown Cosmetics was there. And there's a little bit of controversy with Crown because they are very similar to Morphe, or I should say that Morphe is very similar to Crown in that they have kind of the same style of products and the same style of brushes as well, but they're marketed differently and they're labeled differently. Everything kind of just looks the same and very similar to each of them. I know for a fact that they are very similar, so I know that the quality of each brand is going to be similar as well. So I thought, why not just go there and get face brushes, which are a little bit more expensive, for a discounted price at the makeup show. So the first brush that I got, and all these are kind of dirty because I've been using them a lot lately, so just a forewarning, but the first brush that I got from Crown Pro is this CF18 brush. It is very big, very dense, very fluffy, and rounded at the tip, and I thought this would be good for doing all over powder, maybe some body makeup as well, and to maybe go into the contours of my face and use it for bronzer. That's how I used it today. And yeah, I just wanted a really big brush to do my makeup with and my powder because I was kind of missing that for my collection. I only have one brush that's really gigantic, and I kind of use that for a specific purpose anyway, so I wanted something that could be good for that in addition to the other brush that I have. The next brush that I have is, I knew for a specific purpose that I needed this, and this is the C531 brush, and it is very tapered and it's really big and fluffy, and I use this to set my under eyes. I had one brush that I was using to set, and it just wasn't working the way that I wanted it to anymore because I changed up my routine a little bit, and I needed something a little bit more soft and could really get into each little crevice and corner and cover a lot of area and space too. And when I saw this, I thought it was perfect, and so far it has been really good for setting under the eye and really packing on translucent powder or even just a regular brightening powder. Next, what I got, and I don't know how much I love it, it is this really gigantic stippling brush, and it has no name on it. Sometimes the Crown brushes have names and sometimes they don't. It's just, a nature of the beast sometimes that they kind of don't label things or mislabel things. Yeah, it's just a really big stippling brush, and I used it to put on foundation today. Not the biggest fan of it because it still leaves streaks. The point of me getting a stippling brush was to kind of do a more natural look with my foundation and my contours and stuff like that, so I don't look as much of a cake face when I use my beauty blender or maybe a different brush. But this has been very streaky lately, so I have to use it in conjunction with the beauty blender. I might use a little bit more to do cream contour and stuff like that and just buff it out, or cream bronzers, cream blushes. Maybe I'll try to use it for that as well. So this is okay, but it's not one of my favorite things that I purchased. Back to a good brush and a good purchase that I made. This is the Crown CF17 brush, and this is perfect for concealer. Not necessarily like highlighting concealer that I do on top of my foundation because it kind of takes away the product that's underneath, so I don't like to use it for that. But I'm the type of person that really wants to cover up my dark circles, so I will use this with a more pink tone concealer underneath my foundation and buff it out. Or I will also put, you know, as you guys know, I put concealer on my eyelids to prime them, and this is great for just buffing it out, and I could really get into every single corner, and it doesn't leave any streaks, and it doesn't crease either, so it's just like a really perfect brush. So to go on to stuff that I purchased on a website, I purchased these eyeshadow brushes from Morphe.com. I have no affiliate codes, and I guess I was persuaded a little bit by people that use Morphe Cosmetics to go on their website and purchase some of their brushes, but I haven't been really disappointed. I have other Morphe brushes too that I use, and you guys know that I love them as well. So I wanted to get more eyeshadow brushes. I'll just go down the line, I guess. This is actually a concealer brush, but this is the M224, and I use this for packing on color onto the lid, like shimmers or something like that, just foil shadows, or sometimes I'll take a shadow and spray it with some setting spray and just put it onto my lid, and it's really good also for making really detailed carves in your crease as well, so that you kind of have a little bit of a cut crease when you do your looks. So I've been using this for that, even though it is for concealer. And I got the M433, which is kind of flat, and then it's rounded on the sides so that you could really get into deep crevices, and it is really great for just like going into the crease and buffing things out and making, like, defining the color a little bit more into your crease, and it's been perfect for that. I will say the more that I use it, the more frayed the edges get, and it's so easy for all the little brush hairs to kind of like fall out. Not all the way out, but kind of just like point out like, oh hey, I'm done with this brush, you need to pull me off. So I've had to like cut it down and kind of rip all the little hairs that kind of stick out. But it's been great so far, and if I need to repurchase it, it's not going to be that big of a deal for me. Next is probably my favorite brush that I purchased. It is the M573. I believe Jaclyn Hill talked about this in her favorite Morphe brushes set. It is perfect for doing that defining crease color, but this is really good for blending out a transition shade or a second transition shade that is really defining your crease a little bit more, because it tapers off into the middle and has kind of like a dome shape at the end, and it's really great for getting into each little corner and buffing things out. Like, I could use this for maybe like 2 seconds and buff out the color that I applied into that area that I'm using it for, and it's really perfect. Then I got the E22 from the Elite collection, and I don't know how much I like it. It's good for maybe a second transition color. It's not really good for like your first base color. I had different brushes that I used for that, so this isn't used as often as my other brushes are that I just purchased. Those I kind of use like almost every day, but I do like it to put on a more defining color right after my transition and kind of just above the crease, just smoke everything out. And it is kind of small enough that I could go underneath the lash line on the lower part of my eye as well. Not my favorite one that I bought, once again, but it is pretty good and convenient. Next I got the Morphe M441. This is really great for transition colors and also packing on another crease color without it being very defined and having it more blown out, kind of similar to what this one does, just a little bit better at buffing things out and blending things out in my opinion, and it's a little bit more precise because it's a tiny bit smaller. And this one is the same kind of shape and design as this one, but it's just a little bit smaller, more compact. This is the M513. This is really great for doing like an outer corner color, buffing it out into the rest of the colors that you have without it being too harsh. And I could use this to buff out any lower lash line colors as well, because it is small and still densely packed. So that's it for the brushes that I purchased. I'm going to talk about the NYX Angel Veil. This is a skin perfecting primer, and it's oil free, and it's supposed to kind of blur any imperfections that you have on your face. And I have very mixed feelings about this. I needed to work with it a little bit when I first started applying it because my makeup was kind of like bunching up and not looking as perfect and flawless as it usually does with my other primers. But once I got the hang of this, I started to like it a little bit better. I just don't necessarily know if I like the finish. This gives a very matte, blurred finish. It's not luminous at all. Nothing that's gonna leave you looking dewy. It's more so just going to make your skin look better underneath your makeup, and the makeup will follow suit right on top of it. Leave your skin looking flawless, and it is long lasting. That's the reason why I like it, but it's not something that I will use every day, depending on what I feel for my makeup application that day. I will talk about stuff that I repurchased, and one of them is this, the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. And funny story about this is that I had it a year ago and I used it during the summer and everything was fine, but then I lost it. It was very odd what happened to it because I was at school and then something happened with it and it disappeared. I have the idea that it probably fell into the garbage. Garbage was like right next to my dresser, which is where I had all my makeup on, and it was right in front of the window. We would open our windows and then the wind would kind of blow it occasionally. I'm assuming that it probably blew this down, and I have a feeling that it fell into the garbage and that we threw it out by accident. But I love this foundation. Here I am with it again, and it has a nice radiant finish to this. It has SPF in it as well, so it's not the best foundation with flash photography, but it is really nice as something that you could wear when you are just going out for the day or you don't want your makeup to be really cakey. And it is really good with the stippling brush that I mentioned earlier because it distributes the product evenly and it covers every crevice, but it still looks very natural on the skin. And I'm glad that I have it again. In conjunction with that, this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I have the shade Vanilla, and this is the shade Chantilly. It is the lightest shade because I knew that my vanilla one was just too pink for me, and this is going to be great for brightening. I do have it underneath my eyes today. I like the way that it looks, and I do like the finish, and it's just radiant and really beautiful on my skin, just like the other one was, but this is just a little bit more perfect for me. So back to the makeup show, I will talk about some lashes that I got. Ardell was there, and they had a deal where you would buy 6 lashes and it would only be $20. So the first pair that I saw was the 810, and these are very fluffy and they're very natural looking. Kind of depressing, I got the Demi Wispies. These were a staple for me in my first year of college. So I was happy to be able to get another pair because I couldn't find them in drugstores anywhere. But what is really depressing now is that I wore them to my boyfriend's house and I left them there because I took them off the night that I was there and kind of just threw them to the side and thought that I would find them again. But he says that he can't find them, so I think that they're gone. But these are one of my favorite lashes. The next that I got and that I have worn at least once are the 207 blacks, and they are really dramatic and they're kind of short long style, really great for more dramatic nighttime looks. The next pair that I got I'm a little afraid of. These are the 203s and they're from the 3D collection, and just look at how full and how voluminous they are. But I wanted to just go for it and get something that was crazy just in case, you know, I really needed something that was crazy and dramatic for a particular look. And I got individual lashes, and these are the Knot Free Tapered Long Black. I actually purchased a kit from the drugstore that had short lashes and medium lashes in one kit, and so I wanted to get the longs to kind of complete my whole collection. The last pair I should say that I got was the Knot Free Mega Flare Short Black. So these are all short, you know, the other one is all long, but these are a little bit more full, and I don't know how I feel about these. I used them today actually with my look. I don't know if you could tell. They are very natural because they're shorter. I was trying to put these on and I would take them out of the little nooks and crannies and they started to fall apart and all the lashes would fall out of the little thing, and because it's not free, it didn't hold it as properly as it could have, so that's why I had a little bit of trouble with it. So yeah, not the best, but it certainly added a lot of fullness to my lashes today, and it looks very natural. I have a love-hate relationship with individual lashes in general because they are a little bit more difficult to apply, I would say, but they're certainly not bad. And I was able to get a free tool with my purchase, and I got these Ardell tweezers, and this side, the little pink side, is for pushing a lash band closer to your lash line and making sure that it sticks, and then the other side is to make sure you clip them closer to your lashes, and so far it's worked really well. Also from the makeup show is this little Lorac Pro palette. This is a matte palette, and it is filled with all of these little browns and more reddish tones and blacks and whites and stuff, and it's like perfect travel sized. I've been using this a couple times just for more natural looks, and it has paid off very well. It's just so creamy and buttery, and it just feels so good on the eyelid, and it blends out so well as well. The reason why I got this one is because I'm traveling soon, especially for the summer. I will try to do a tutorial with it in an upcoming video, just to show you guys how great it is. So a drugstore find, now that I've talked a lot about the Makeup Pro event, I got the new Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara, and people are saying that this is kind of a dupe for the Too Faced Cosmetics Better Than Sex mascara. It just has a very full and fluffy wand and has different contours to it, and this works just as well as the original Voluminous mascara, but I will say it makes my lashes a lot more fluffy and a lot more full, and the tube and the packaging is just so cute as well. So this is one of those products that I could use to repurchase in my little makeup no-buy, because if it does run out, it's not that expensive and it works really well with my lashes anyway. So the next product that I will talk about are the NYX lip liners that I purchased at the makeup show. Everybody always raves about the NYX lip liners, so I wanted to get a couple more. Very basic colors that could go with a multitude of looks. This is in the shade Plush Red, and then I got the shade Purple Rain, and then this one is probably my favorite that I got. This is the shade Nude Beige, and it is just like a simple brown liner. And then the next one that I was kind of disappointed with is Tangerine, and I thought it was going to be similar to the other three colors where it was like matte and creamy, but this is more so sparkly, and it's very, very patchy. I could have worked with the shimmer and satin finish that it had if it wasn't so patchy. I'm kind of upset with the way that this worked out, but I'm still going to keep it for certain looks because I feel like I could use this for certain things, just maybe not as much as I wanted to. And that's just what happens when you purchase things that you don't test out. Next are eyebrow stuff, and I got these from one Sephora, and then the other one is from the drugstore. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer, and so it comes out in this shape. So I've liked it for days where I kind of just want to make a brow and just run out the door because it is a little bit less precise. The reason why I picked this up is because I ran out of the Brow Wiz very quickly, and this has worked really well. It's in the shade Ebony. It's great for filling in my arches. It's not the best with doing the tail, but it's definitely good for filling in sparse areas. The drugstore one that I bought is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I love this. It's almost exactly the same as the Brow Wiz. It is very precise. It has a very tiny tip, just like the Brow Wiz does. Unfortunately, I think that this color is a little bit too warm on me. It is the shade Espresso, and it just comes out very like chocolatey brown as opposed to maybe like dark chocolate brown, which is what I prefer my brows to look like. It just doesn't match my brow color at all. I have very dark, cool tone brows, but if I have to, I do use it because I do like how specific and how precise it is. It does get the job done. I'm just going to try to pick up a darker shade if there is one. I do still love this, and I think it's great quality. We're kind of down to the wire, so I'm going to be brief about this. I picked up another RCMA No Color Powder at the makeup show. This is the only place that I know that like sells it to you directly to your face. Otherwise, you would have to purchase it online. So I have not even finished my other powder case yet, but I wanted to make sure that I had a backup. So this was just like a great thing to pick up so that I didn't have to worry about it for another year or so. And then the final thing that I bought, this is the Cinema Secrets makeup brush cleaner, and it came with a little tin that I could put it into and then clean my brushes with. It's like alcohol on steroids. It's really disinfecting and it cleans your brushes, disinfects them, and it just gets right into the nitty-gritty and it cleans it in like 2 seconds, and it's quick drying as well. So it smells so terrible. It's like hydrogen peroxide, like it's that level of smell because it is so disinfecting. And I'm going to just like do a quick demo of this for you guys just to like show you how well this works. The purchase that I made for only $20, they were giving me a free tin. So I'm gonna get a really dirty brush. I'm gonna get this Morphe M433 brush that I showed earlier, and it's full of Cinema Secrets liquid to just take off all the excess on my hand. So you just take your brush and then you dunk it in there and try not to get the tip of your brush handle just because you don't want to loosen up the glue. And then you swirl it around in there a little bit. And it comes out all wet. And then grab a rag, run it through it. You could also use a paper towel as well, obviously. And then you have a very clean, very white brush. And it is completely dry now. And so this is really great for people that are makeup artists and are doing multiple clients at once and want to make sure that they have all their favorite brushes completely disinfected and clean for another application. This isn't for like heavy duty cleanings. You should definitely shampoo and condition your brushes as often as you can, but this is great for times when you don't feel like doing a really heavy cleaning and you just want to do a little bit of spot treatment, especially if you only want to do a handful of brushes too. So that's the last product that I purchased and probably one of my favorites. So yeah, that's that. Those were some of the recent purchases that I have done. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope you got a couple of ideas for things maybe that you want to purchase. And yeah, I will see you in the next one, probably using one of these products. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.